What's going on, guys? Corrosive Bully here, bringing you a little bit different of a video. So, 5th anniversary is well underway, and there's a lot of hype going around for this anniversary in particular. However, if you guys haven't seen any of the past summoning videos for Dokkan, you guys will be pleasantly surprised to know we got both the units off the 5th anniversary banners. You guys are probably wondering too, hey Corrosive, who is going to be the best character to summon for? In terms of the amount of stones that I have, who's going to be the best bang for my buck? Well, we're going to kind of go over that a little bit today. Now, before we jump into the video though, let me just say real quick that I have no dupes for Gogeta, and I have one dupe of Vegeta. So these are not rainbowed, as you can clearly see. These are not at the peak that they could be at. So just keep that in mind as we kind of go over it. But I messed around with both units, and we'll just kind of do a side-by-side comparison of the units, and I'll kind of give you an idea as to who best to summon for. So let's start with Gogeta. So Gogeta is a very solid all-around attacking unit. His leader skill is final trump card and fusions. Everyone on the team in those categories gains 3 ki and 150 health, attack, and defense as well. His super attack is Meteor Attack, which raises attack and causes colossal damage to the enemy. Nothing too substantial. Obviously, you get him up to 12 ki, and he does the Meteor Attack as shown there. And his Kamehameha unlocks at 18, I believe. Yes, at 18. And is also similar as well. Obviously, get him to level 20, and they obviously do a lot more damage. So, if you're able to fully unlock their hidden potential, then clearly take any extra copies you have, put them in super attack, because that's obviously going to help you out tremendously. His passive skill, his ultimate power, attack and defense 70%. If he's in the third row of the rotation, the third slot of the rotation, he has a much higher chance of being able to dodge attacks. He also gets plus 3 ki and launches additional attacks on top of those dodge abilities as well. So, in my opinion, I love units like these because they're high damage output, high chance of dodging, very, very good units, especially when it comes to doing some of the harder challenge maps, and possibly even some of the easy A's if you're trying to go through the easy A's. Having that extra dodge is always beneficial to have as well for that. Link skills, Saiyan Warrior Race, Fused Fighter, Prepared for Battle, Over in a Flash, Kamehameha, Fierce Battle, Legendary Power. He will pretty much work with any Saiyan type unit, especially those along the lines of Goku and Vegeta, clearly. As you can clearly see, Gogeta, Vegito, he's got Bardock and Gine, you got the new story events for Broly and Vegeta, LR Nappa. Like there's a lot of units that you can run these guys with, and I think that's probably why these guys are kind of must-need units, because they have a lot of variety that you can put them on teams with. And then obviously categories: Final Trump Card and Fusion, which is part of his leader skill, Realm of Gods, Movie Heroes, Kamehameha, Transformation Boost. Realm of Gods is easily one of the best teams to run on, so it's nice that he has the inclusion of that particular category involved with him. Now, if we go into his transformation, it doesn't change up too much. Obviously, he's going to get a stat increase as well. His super does change just a little bit, but not all that much. His passive goes up to 77%. He gains 5 ki. He launches 2 attacks. Plus, he gains an additional 7% attack and defense with each attack performed, and attacks effective against all types as the first or second attacker in your turn. Which is a really, really good passive to have. The fact that he is type neutral and can deal out damage no matter what type the unit is. And still the same as before. As a third attacker, he gains extra dodge chance. He gets chances of additional attack and whatnot. Stardust Fall raises both attack and defense for 1 turn, so that's a little bit better of an increase as opposed to before. His active skill can be activated 1 time, whose enemy is 50% or less, starting from the next attacking turn. And it also greatly raises attack temporarily and causes ultimate damage. So he's pretty good, like I said, doing like the challenge rushes to get the awakening medals for certain characters. He's really good to use during EZAs. He's also pretty good to use in like the Goku event. So definitely worthwhile unit to try and summon for. Let's take a look at the animations. Now, if I'm being kind of impartial here, I personally am a bigger fan of Gogeta's animations over Vegeta's. That's just me personally. Let's just look at this. So there's a way that I can. Or maybe you cannot see that. So let's go over here then. Or maybe it's not. Oh, you know what? It's probably under the summon. Let's look at the. So if we look at his standard meteor attack, very flashy, very fast moving. And it doesn't seem like there's any like skip frames in any of that either, so. And then here's his Kamehameha ability. I don't know what it is, but with this, when it comes to this game versus Legends, they see in Dokkan it seems like Gogeta gets the better treatment. But that's just me. That's just how I see it. So then he's got his first initial super. Which I think that looks a lot better than Meteor Explosion does, personally. And then you have the active skill, which I don't think I can play for you guys. But his active skill is actually really, really flashy and amazing. I personally really get a kick out of that animation, and it gives me goosebumps every time too. So, but all in all, Gogeta is a very solid unit. Now, if we look at Vegeta, there's a slight difference. Now remember, these units, I only have 1 copy of Vegeta over Gogeta, so the stats are going to be a little bit different. But based off of my time spent with these characters, the one difference that I can make between the two of them is that Gogeta is a lot more of an attacking type unit, whereas Vegeta is much, much better defensively. I wouldn't say it's by much for either or, but there's a clear distinction between the two when using them in events. Now, with Vegeta, you're really not changing all that much from Gogeta. So he gets Final Trump Card, and instead of Fusion, he gets Potara. But it's the exact same stat boost. It's just dependent on the team that you want to run. Vegeta combo activates at 12 ki, does massive damage. He does Big Bang attack at 18 ki. and does mega colossal damage to the enemy and raises attack as well. Again, not too different there. Attack and defense plus 70, ki plus 3, launches an additional attack. It has a medium chance of becoming a super attack. That's his passive skill. Also has a high chance of evading enemy attacks when he's in the third slot. Just like Gogeta, when he's in the third slot of the rotation, he has a much higher chance of being able to dodge enemy attacks, which is good. He's got a little bit different of Link skills. He still has Saiyan Warrior Race. He still has Over in a Flash, Fused Fighter, Legendary Power. However, what differs is that he's on the Brainiac's team, which is which is like a lot of like minions, side characters, stuff like that. And then he's on the Power Bestowed by God, which is a lot of Vegeta, Zamasu type units. So Link skills are a little bit different. So it really just depends on the type of team that you really want to run, and who it is that you want to have on said team. The other difference being too here is that he gains access to an additional category. He has one extra category compared to Gogeta, and instead of the categories that Gogeta runs on, Vegeta also runs on Time Travelers and Future Saga as well. So you have a lot more variety to run Vegeta on as opposed to Gogeta. If we go and take a look at his transform state, obviously it doesn't change. He gets Super Saiyan. Again, final trump card Potara doesn't really change. Leader skill doesn't really change at all. Vegito Sword raises attack and defense for 1 turn. Still at the same key levels. Omega Finishing Blow raises just defense for 1 turn. So take that for what you will. He doesn't gain the attack on the Vegito Sword. Now, the one thing that I do notice is that Vegito also has a higher chance of landing additional attacks based on the way that his hidden potential skill, or his hidden potential skill tree looks. So you have an opportunity of gaining both of those buffs depending on if the conditions are met and your RNG is really, really good. Obviously, he gains a better passive ability. Let it rotate around. So he gains the 77% ki plus 2, launches an additional super attack, guaranteed, plus an additional +1 ki up to 5, and attack and defense +7 up to 77 for each attack performed in the first or second attacker in a turn. Launches an additional super attack and a high chance of evading enemies' attacks when he is in the third slot, as stated before. His active skill, let the active skill rotate again. The condition to meet the active skill can be activated when facing only one enemy whose HP is 50% or less, starting from next attacking turn once only, greatly raises attack temporarily and causes ultimate damage to the enemy. And again, none of that really changes there. So based off what I am seeing, into what I've seen and what I've actually messed around with while using both these units, arguably I think Vegito is technically the better unit, just because of the ways his passives and the way his supers work. The only downside to Vegito, in my personal opinion, we'll go check out to look at his animations. Only difference being that his animations, in my opinion, are not as flashy as Gogeta's. I think Gogeta has a lot more going for him animation-wise. Than Vegeta does. And I don't know if it's just the art style. I don't know if it's just the background. But it's not as flashy, in my opinion. So we go here. We got his Vegeta sword. And then we have Omega finishing blow. And then, as I've stated before, we have an active skill, but I can't really show you the active skill, which is unfortunate because both of the active skills on both of these characters are actually phenomenal looking. They are great to just look at. Plus, there's voice acting in it from the original voice actors in both Japanese and in English. So, all in all, what are my final thoughts? Who is it that you guys should summon for? Well, believe it or not, it's really going to be a matter of your preference. As I've said, arguably, I think Vegito is technically the better unit, just because he has a lot more team viability. His supers give him a bit... His supers, along with the way that his hidden potential skill tree is set up, I think Vegito can easily be set up to do more in terms of benefiting the unit himself and the rest of the team. Gogeta is just as good all around, but he is just not as viable, in my opinion. Me personally, though, I've summoned for both. Obviously, I'm gonna try and be going for more Gogeta pulls because if I am more of a Gogeta fanboy than a Vegito fanboy. So, and just the fact that I think Gogeta's animations are way better than Vegito's animations all in all. So that's just my personal preference. If you guys want to run Time Travelers, Future Saga, definitely try and go for Vegito. If you guys are looking to just get fusions going, Gogeta is just as good. And then, obviously, just kind of pick and choose. But definitely take advantage of doing the summons for this video, for the anniversary, and grabbing as many copies of these guys as you can, because more than likely, once the banners leave, you will not be able to get them until December when they come into the coin shop. So definitely take advantage of this, and just use your own personal preference to decide who you want to summon for. But that'll be it for this video, guys. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know which of the two units you guys preferred. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed today's video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.